پادشاهی تو بیاد، اراده تو یکایک ما. ای پدر، شکرت برای امروز اراده تو بشه در نام عیسی مسیح. آمین.
Ali Dini, 48 years old, former convict, sentenced for murder, kidnapping, theft and dealing in narcotics.
I thought that my place was at the very bottom of hell.
Ali left Iraq 24 years ago, running from the law. He came to Bulgaria, where he continued to go deeper into the underworld of drugs and crime.
I've always thought that there is no salvation for me. I had so many sins.
Do you repent of what you have done in the past?
I've already repented. It's all in the past. It's not something recent. It happened 4 or 5 years ago. Since then, I'm not the same person.
He was given a 14-year sentence, which he served in Sofia Central Prison. There he found a new faith.
In Islam, I never had a sense of God's presence. I imagined God as standing somewhere up above, holding a big stick and waiting for you to make a mistake and beat you. I never felt God's presence close to me.
Even behind bars, Ali continued selling drugs. There he met a chaplain, Pastor Ivodor Kovachev.
When they sat down to talk about Jesus, all I could think about was my drug sales, new clients and so on. Until the prayer time, when everyone stopped and bowed their heads and prayed. And after the prayer, I was stunned. I was really touched. I couldn't understand it back then, but that was the time when God, through Pastor Kovachev, sowed the seed of faith in my heart. And after several months, 5 or 6, this started blossoming.
Ali got a Bible, and it wasn't long before he started to believe in a God different from Allah.
When I first started reading this book, I treated it as any fanatic Muslim would. I joked about Jesus. But when I read to the end of the Bible, and I realized that this book really was a book of love and humility, serenity and peace, the things I've been searching for my entire life.
Did you get baptized?
I was baptized with water in the prison. Meeting Ali in person was a dramatic experience for me. In the old person of Ali, I saw a criminal with a long history of offences, a man who had already spent 15 years in prison, with more ahead of him. The challenge at that moment was to bring Christ to a person who had lived without hope his entire life.
For 5 years now, Ali, an Iranian, calls himself a Christian and a former Muslim. Since leaving the prison, he is a different person.
I closed the door behind me once and for all. I never looked back.
Now, every week, Ali invites his friends to his home. What do they get out of these meetings when they meet with you?
I think that they get the assurance that they are not alone.
Najma and Reza have also become Christians recently. They fled from Iran last year and ended up at the refugee camp at Busmansi. For the last few months, they have been living at the camp at Ovcha Kupel.
We came to Bulgaria in May last year. We stayed in the camp at Busmansi. It was very hard for us. The atmosphere there was oppressive, especially for our child. We were treated like prisoners. Even harder than that was the uncertainty. We didn't know what to do. We had no information.
Life became so hard for the family that Najma came to an extreme decision to commit suicide. When Pastor Ivodor came for the first time, I was feeling so bad that I wanted to end my life. Then he prayed for me. Even telling it now gives me goosebumps. He put his hand on my forehead and started praying. At that moment, all the pain went out of my body. In the beginning, when we had just one Bible, we quarreled over whose turn it was to read it. We argued about it. When the lights were turned off at night, I used the light of my mobile phone to read. The more I read, the more fascinated I became. Like Ali, Najmeh and Riza want to continue their lives in Bulgaria. Does faith help?
If faith doesn't help, it's not worth it. It's when we come to know the only true God and Jesus Christ whom He sent and truly believe in Him in our hearts. I cannot describe that fully. He starts working within us with a dramatic, transforming power from the inside out that changes the way we think and talk and ultimately our entire way of life. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes it happens overnight. That's why it's called a miracle, because it can't be explained. Since I believed in Him, I am no longer the same person. When I first took the Bible in my hands, I did not know what I would read there. To my surprise, I did not see laws and violence. I saw love and unity.